How to handle a woman who hurts you. Stoicism. They always say, she doesn't care. Just move on. But what if that's not the full story? What if the silence she gives you isn't strength, but fear? What if her distance doesn't mean she's over you, but that she's waiting to see if you'll break first? You see, this isn't just about heartbreak. It's about control. It's about testing the boundaries of your emotional discipline. When a woman pulls back, goes cold, and retreats into silence, most men panic. They reach, they chase, they bleed for closure. And that, right there, is where they lose everything. But not you. Not anymore. Because if you're watching this, it means one thing. You're done. Done with the games. Done wasting your energy on someone who feeds off your emotional reactions. Done surrendering your dignity just to prove your worth. You're about to learn the one move she never expects. Silence. Not weak silence. Not desperate silence. Controlled, powerful, stoic silence. This is how you shift the entire dynamic. This is how you reclaim your self-respect, your confidence, your peace. This isn't just about a relationship. This is about life. Control, power, inner freedom. And it all comes down to one question. How do you respond when someone tries to test your worth? Sit back, lock in, because by the time you finish this video, you'll never chase again. You'll never hand over your value again. You'll never give your power away again. And before we dive deeper, I want you to pause and make a commitment. Drop a comment right now. I will never chase again. Say it to the world. Say it to yourself. Let it echo through your mindset every time your emotions try to pull you off center. 1. She expects you to react. Allow me to clarify. Taking a step back isn't her intention. In anticipation of your response, she is stepping back. Her responses are postponed. Gets off his phone first. Rejects objectives. Keeps himself occupied. Yet in some way, your stories are still capturing her attention. The person is still sharing photos online, knowing that you will see them. There are still subtle appearances that keep you in the loop. Why? Why? Because she hasn't finished yet. It's a test. Evaluating your level of emotional investment, should you experience a state of sheer terror. If you don't hold firm when challenged. If her power to elicit a response from you is still intact. When it comes to this test, the majority of males may do poorly. Upon sensing her retreat, they swiftly begin to whirl around. All interactions are replayed. Each message was read again. Their fixation is intense. Have I made a mistake? Does she have a romantic partner? What if she's gone for good? Consequently, they make contact. Both of them text twice. For things they did not do, they provide excuses. So they implore. Their pursuit is relentless. At that very second, they come out on the losing end because she has finally uncovered the information she was seeking. She still has you. She retains command. You will still be kept in suspense even if she vanishes for days and returns with a single cryptic note. I don't find that appealing. That lacks strength. There's dependence there. Furthermore, women do not value dependence. Only when a woman is still on the fence about a man would she play games with him. Her uncertainty about you is evident in her testing you, and when you demonstrate to her how much you value her focus, you're under her power, she's sure of it. Therefore, she withdraws even farther, in a spirit of assurance rather than malice. For sure she can. You recently informed her. If it weren't for you, I would be completely confused. But here's the reality that the majority of men don't realize until much later. When she realizes you care about her emotional well-being, she has completely lost interest in you. Reason being, women avoid males who falter. They pursue men who remain defiant. Gentlemen who can adore them selflessly. Consider the inverse now. Picture yourself unresponsive. You don't inquire about the problem. Please don't beg. One should not double text. You simply become silent. You keep your mind sharp. Keep your bearings. Out of nowhere, the plot twists. Her curiosity is piqued. To what end has he not made contact? What if I crossed a line? Does he not care about me? And then is when uncertainty begins to sneak in. And uncertainty determines the outcome. 2. Your silence breaks her control. People are more terrified of death than they are of heartbreak. Total stillness. Avoid uncomfortable quiet. Quietness was intentional. A deliberate lack of speech, though. You see, people love to be loud. They let all sorts of diversions into their lives. Online communities, social gatherings, focus. Not because of any intrinsic desire to form bonds, nevertheless due to their inability to cope with silence. When there is no sound, you need to take some time to reflect. You need to take off your disguise and face reality. And she is currently confronted with that. She withdrew in anticipation of a response. She was afraid you might crack. In her mind, you would freak out. She assumed you would pursue for the simple reason that it is the norm. However, what about you? Your light faded. Nothing written. No contact. What the fuck happened? Just say I miss you. Completely non-existent. And that lack of sound, more so than 1,000 words, it reverberates in her mind. Suddenly, it's her who's looking at her phone. It is she who is perplexed. Did I miscalculate? Why hasn't he reached out? Did I actually lose him? Plus that terror, dread of becoming powerless, begins to establish itself. Initially, she maintains a low profile, posts photos of herself and her pals, perhaps one with a different man. A broad smile spreads across her face. He laughs even harder, proudly displays her best life. But hear me out. You can see it everything. That's bait. Her question is if you're still keeping tabs on her. She is curious as to whether she can still tap into your feelings. Also, when you don't say anything, in the absence of a response, in the absence of a transmission, when your story views don't reveal any double takes, it dawns on her at that moment. Her control has been revoked. She begins mentally reliving past discussions. Her eyes wander back to your most recent texts. Where did it all go wrong? She asks herself. It changes at that point. The lady who put your emotional fortitude to the test once encounters her personal emotional tempest at the moment, but thereafter, this is the test. A message is sent by her, short, casual, completely harmless. Well, I hope all is well with you. Or, just noticed something that brought back a memory of you. Clearly that does not constitute affection. No, that is not genuine. It's a strategic move. She's attempting to lure you in order to determine if she still possesses any authority, in order to make sure that you're still there for people emotionally. No word yet. Not yet healed. And nearly all guys give into it. They respond right away. Race my heart. Glares intensifying. Given that, she is requesting my return. As a result, they communicate. The enthusiasm is palpable. Finally, they let their guard down. And suddenly, once again she vanishes. Why? You see, she had no interest in you. She wanted assurance. She was missing you. Yet she refrained from reaching out. The drive to satisfy her ego prompted her to seek out, that she might be able to capture you. And that's why the most powerful reaction remains unanswered. If she doesn't want to lose you too badly, sure, she'll make it clear. I hope you're doing well, but that's not enough. Not with insincere texting, but it takes work. Using actual language in a state of weakness, while sincerely apologizing. Can it be any less? No sound. The only thing that can shake her self-assurance is complete stillness. Loss of control is a result. Doubt is sown, and uncertainty is where yearning first emerges. Why? Because people's minds can't process queries that don't have answers. If you continue to ignore her, without you, the world would be a much noisier place. 3. She will start to doubt herself. At first, she was quite certain about everything. She thought there was an infinite amount of time on her hands. She thought you'd be around forever, hovering just outside her focus. Got ready to leap the second she gave you the signal. In her mind, she had already figured out the outcome. Retrenchment ensues. You're running faster, without a trace. Your heart races. It's nothing new to her. It's the norm for male behavior. And she considered you to be no different from any other. However, an unexpected event occurred. There was no pursuit. No, you remained calm. Her attention was not begged for by you. You grew silent, and that lack of sound, she began to feel its effects. Initially, it was insignificant. Tears of intrigue. Why hasn't he reached out? Next, a hint of stress. Is he really okay without me? Next, the genuine dread. Did I misjudge him? Did I just let go of a man worth keeping? The terror begins with a low murmur. Yet every day it becomes more audible. Her role in reviewing your profile has now shifted. She is the one who is following your tales. She wants to know whether you're still linked emotionally. Therefore, she's searching for anything. That her authority is intact. Still, you're not providing her with anything. Your light has faded, dedicated solely to your own care. Change their motion. It unsettles her. Since her companions, who had previously informed her, he'll come back. They always do. Everyone is beginning to question, even them. Nobody has contacted you, and they're taking note. that you aren't trying to grab. That perhaps she did in fact lose you. Furthermore, that uncertainty, a spiral is formed. In her thoughts, she keeps playing back your previous chat. Maybe she misunderstood you, she thinks. She is always doubting something. Also, this is a first. She is confronted with the unsettling reality. She didn't appreciate you. If she thought you were ordinary, she was wrong. It seemed to her that she could come and go whenever she liked. But now she's uncertain. And the moment a lady begins to question her own worth, it's like she suddenly becomes an actress, unassumingly, not outright, yet in ways that are subtle and deliberate. An antique snapshot is her favorite. Feedback on an item you published. It is possible that sending a wrong text occurs by accident. Scattering of cereal grains, scatterings of care, to gauge your level of interest. Basically to gauge her continued significance. As about the frail guy, he falls for it. An illumination fills his face. He starts again. And the moment she notices the glimmer of interest in his eyes, she withdraws once again. Why? It was never a love story. Reconnection was never the point. Power dynamics were at play. The focus was on pride. Your return was something she was reluctant to do. She was only inquiring as to your whereabouts. After you demonstrated that, her curiosity waned. For, when she tries to pull you back, this is the portion that the majority of guys are unprepared for. When she returns in reality, not because her longing for you is profound. This is not due to her readiness to love you in a proper sense. The reason being that she is becoming increasingly unruly. She senses a change. She recognizes the distinction. She sees that you have changed from the guy who used to eagerly await her text messages. You've evolved. Your lack of speech wasn't intentional. That was a radical change. That truly unsettles her. Reason being, at this same moment, she's the one who's missing you. It is she who is perplexed about her position. She has the distinct impression that she may have let a wealthy man to go. Be careful to hear. She'll keep this under wraps. No lengthy communication apologizing for her errors will be sent to you by her. No phone call from her to confess she wishes she hadn't pulled away. Why? Because doing so would entail relinquishing command, and she hasn't given up on clinging to that final straw. Consequently, rather than that, in doing so, she puts you to the test. It all begins with small details. Taking another look at your tales, favorite past posts, transmitting a brief, innocuous message. Hope you're doing well. Just saw something that reminded me of you. Her goal is not to mend fences. She's taking a reading from you. The question she is seeking an answer to is, have you lost interest? Can I still reach out to you emotionally? In addition, in the event that you are, if you seize the opportunity to speak with her once again, she will disappear. Simply letting her know that you were still available to her was all she needed to know. You weren't the focus. Her ease was paramount. But the good news is that here is your victory seat. You remain silent. You show no interest. You aren't involved in the game. Because it's very plain to you now. Establishing a rapport was never the objective. Everything revolved around control. What is her subsequent move then? She increases her level of exertion. She might even send a different text. Perhaps an emotional recollection is triggered by her words. Perhaps she publicly communicates with other men or shares a provocative photo, all in an effort to get you to do anything. Your composure remains unwavering. Still, you don't say a word. Why? Reason being, you've changed since she left you. No longer are you emotionally reliant. You have changed. You have progressed. She now has the responsibility. Now the decision is hers. Is she humble and forthright when she fights for you? On the other hand, does she abandon you, since she had no intention of standing up for you to begin with? And if she never had any genuine interest, in time she will withdraw, given that she never sought love. She seemed to be seeking validation. I mean, if she meant it. Assuming she feels remorse, not even a breadcrumb will she provide. A declaration will be sent by her. She'll take risks. She's going to be vulnerable. The truth will be revealed by her, if that time ever arrives. This is up to you to determine. You get to choose if she should be able to see the updated you. You get to choose if she deserves your undivided attention, affection, and time. Because you can stop sitting around and hoping that she'll pick you now. You get to decide who may access you. 5. Mastering emotional detachment. First things first. This has nothing to do with joking around. Being a master of oneself is the key. Apathy is not the same as emotional detachment. It's not apathy. Putting on an active indifference is not it. Being able to care profoundly, nonetheless remain uncontrolled. Being aware of your feelings is mastering your feelings while retaining control over your own choices. The reason most guys fail is that they let the wrong woman emotionally exploit them. Their response is predictable. Their thoughts are consumed with analysis. This is something they fixate on. Their pursuit is relentless. Why? Reason being, they identify themselves by how she approves of them. In their minds, if she loves me, then I am sufficient. I will be completely useless if she withdraws. Was that the frame of mind? Slavery of the emotions. And now we must shatter it. The unvarnished reality is this. The one who can go with honor stands as the room's most influential male, and it's not that he lacks emotion. On the other hand, he refuses to fold. Those who view him as an afterthought are not worthy of his pursuit. He isn't the kind to grovel for insincere praise. When respect is absent, he doesn't strive to impose love. He can find fulfillment without her, since he is already there. His mission is his entire world, his development. He is quite disciplined. He rests. To top it all off, those are the men that women lament the loss of, because he starts to disappear. As other guys flounder in a sea of feelings and dependence, he gets to his feet with dignity and clarity. It dawns on her. He wasn't only an option. She ought to have clung to him. However, by the moment she spots it, he left earlier, feeling neutral. Calm down. Simply great. Distancing oneself emotionally has that kind of power. This is more of a paradigm shift than a strategy. Going from being in needy to thriving, till it's required. Coming from an emotional state from weak to strong. After being emotionally enslaved, emotionally liberated, finally the change. Ignoring you at this very moment may mean, take it easy, stay out of it, lay off the pleading, take note, get out of there, rather than chastise her in order to keep yourself safe. Why? Because when a lady withdraws, the focus is usually not on you. Her ego is at stake, the fears she had, her need for a sense of mastery. Deciphering her silence is not your responsibility. Your task is to capitalize on that stillness, energy to restore, redirect your attention, and take control again. Why? Because here's the reality. The guy who can live without her return is the guy she'll probably return to, not because she fell for your manipulation. You put yourself in a better position, though. What about that floor? I can't help but be captivated by your charm. Regarding her alone, but outside of it, exit if you feel the need to. If necessary, detach, never with resentment. While there is calm, because maybe she'll look back and understand. She managed to keep a lover from leaving her. Someone who may have altered her course in life passed away. As for the day in question, you will not have to wait. You'll be doing well. You're going to be sharp. It will be impossible to reach you. Urge your response. When this message struck a chord with you, when you sense that strength within you, then you should definitely share this. Join the channel immediately by subscribing. Press the like button. Plus, pass this along to a guy who would benefit from hearing it. As a fraternity of disciplined men, we are constructing, show the way, living a life of influence. And in case you haven't tuned out yet, keep in mind this last truism of the Stoics. A man's strength is directly proportional to his mental calmness. Marcus Aurelius. Keep your cool. Avoid ambiguity. Keep your strength. Stay steadfast. Goodbye for now. Hold your head up. Keep your feet firmly flat. Never allow the quiet of another person to disrupt your serenity.